Good morning, everyone. Well, it's Monday morning again, so ready to get back to work after a weekend of celebrating my birthday. And so thank you for all those birthday messages. So let's get back to work. All right. So we'll start with some footwork. And so we'll be in that. So once again, if it's we're going to do a wide squat. If it's too much for those knees, don't dip down too much. So just work it within your limits there. So we'll do a standing spine roll. So deep breath in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest, peel your spine off that imaginary wall. Deep breath in to hold, crown of the head to the floor. Beeline, breathing out, use the abdominals to support your spine and uncurl to the upright. And again, deep breath in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest and roll it down. Notice how far down you're reaching. Beeline from halfway up. Tuck with the pelvis and squeeze the core to the upright. And last one, breathe in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest and roll it down. Notice how far down you're reaching. Beeline, use those abdominals to support your spine. Uncurl to the upright. We'll just do a calf stretch to loosen up through those calves a little first before we go into that squat. So elbows are resting at shoulder level, your front foot is straight, and your back foot is straight. You can even try turning your toes slightly inwards. So you should have a straight line from the crown of the head down towards your back heel. Keep shoulder blades in pocket and maintain your tuck under with the tailbone. And then changing legs, check that foot is straight, all toes turn slightly in, bend the front knee, pressing that back heel down flat. Keep maintaining that tuck under with the tailbone. Get the breath to the base of the lungs. And easing out of that. So we're going to go into that wide knee squat. Now make sure that your kneecaps are in line with your second toe. And if you do have sore knees, you can just do a small squat, but then we're going to rise right up onto the toes. So when you do rise up onto those toes, try and get the small muscles of the feet contracting, and it helps a lot if you squeeze in from the inner thighs and squeeze the buttocks, squeeze your core. Otherwise, take yourself down as low as you can. You can't even touch the floor. So keep those knees open, nice wide open, and as you rise up, really contracting in those small muscles of the feet, squeeze in from the inner thighs, maintain a tuck under with the tailbone, don't be in a hurry, and slowly down. Keep those knees pushed out really wide, squeeze the buttocks, squeeze in from the inner thighs, hold it there, maintain the tuck under with the tailbone, and slowly down. Have those knees nice and wide, push those knees out, and squeeze in from the inner thighs, rise right up onto the balls of the feet. And then down, push those knees out wide, and rising up, squeeze in from those inner thighs, right up onto your toes. And take it down as deeply into that squat as those knees will allow, and rising right up. So contract those small muscles in the arch of the feet. And then down, push your knees out really wide and squeeze in from those inner thighs. We'll go just a little bit faster. So take it down and rise it up. Keep your balance, keep your balance. Down, squeeze the buttocks, squeeze in from the inner thighs. Shoulder blades are in pocket. Take it down and rise it up right onto the balls of the toes. Down and up. Push those knees out wide. One more. Push those knees wide. Rising up. Raising the arms up. closing your eyes. And easing out of that. Just give the legs a little shake and we'll bring it down for some stretches. So just bringing that in a little closer. So we'll do a hip flexor stretch. Big lunge forwards with the right foot, and you can lift that back knee just up off the floor for your firmer stretch. So lean slightly to the left-hand side and tuck under with the tailbone. So feel that stretch at the front of that left hip. Make sure that your hip is down low and that you're not up here. If that is the case, then you're better off having your knee down. And then changing sides. So a big lunge forwards. If you lifted the knee up on the other side, same thing on this side. Leaning slightly to that right-hand side and push out through your right heel. Neck in line with the rest of the spine. Don't just allow the whole upper body to drop. Push out through that back heel. Easing out of that. Now kneeling. So just as long as those knees will allow it. You can put a cushion there if you need to. You can keep your hands. Otherwise sitting upright. Nice straight back. And otherwise leaning back within your limits of discomfort. Press those knees to the floor, tucking under with the tailbone. Keep pushing those knees down. Make sure that you're tucking with the pelvis. Now when you come up symmetrically, hand in the center, squeeze the core straight up. Coming out to one side, you can feel it in your back sometimes. Now really good firm stretch into those thighs. Make sure you're maintaining your tuck with the pelvis, not going into that sway with your lower back. And you're trying to get to a 9 out of 10 of discomfort into these thighs. So bottom leg way forwards, heel to the buttock. So hold on to your ankle, try flexing that foot. Knee at the level of the hip, tuck with the pelvis, and pulling that knee back and behind your torso. So work strongly with those abdominals to maintain your pelvic tilt and keep pulling back and behind. Breathe through the stretch. If you do have any discomfort in your knee, just change that angle or take your heel down a little lower to see if that will relieve the pressure on the knee. Back that extra centimetre and over onto the other side. So the bottom leg, way forwards, heel to the buttock, tuck with the pelvis, lock the pelvis into position and pull back and behind your torso. Keep your hips vertically stacked. Work strongly with those abdominals to maintain your pelvic tilt. And looking forwards, be conscious of the position of the neck. Breathe through the stretch, consciously relaxing those stretch muscles. Easing out of that and lying on your back for hamstring stretch. So using the band if you have one. So band wide around the forefoot of your right foot. Now if you do need a cushion, then pop one behind your head or a rolled up towel. And make sure that your foot is straight. For that firmer stretch, you can straighten the left leg. So hamstring stretch, pressing up with the heel, down with the hip, bend the elbows, knee towards your shoulder. Keep that knee soft and flex your foot strongly. So whenever you're stretching, make sure that you're feeling it in the correct muscles and that you compare left and right side. If you're particularly tight on one side, then that should be your homework. So if you're tight on the right leg, you do right, left, and right again. And changing sides. So band wide around that forefoot. Make sure that your foot is straight and not turned out. Pressing up with the heel, down with the hip, bend the elbows, knee towards your shoulder, and then pull that forefoot down. Make sure that the hip is pressed into the floor. easing out of that, and buttock stretch. So right foot on the left knee. Keep your pelvis square. Make sure that you're not starting to twist with that pelvis. So check your hip bones. And hold behind your left thigh or in front of that left knee for your firmer stretch. Hug the thigh in close. Now try dropping that left knee, slowly to the left-hand side. I'm just looking for that firmer stretch through to the right buttock. Keep your chin tucked in and your shoulder blades pressed to the floor. Press the tailbone back towards the floor. And changing sides, holding behind your right thigh, with that firmer stretch in front of your right knee, hugging the thigh towards the chest. And then try dropping that right knee towards the right-hand side. So just looking for that firmer stretch into that left buttock. Breathe through the stretch, consciously relaxing through the buttock muscles. And relax the tailbone back towards the floor. And easing out of that. So we'll waken those abdominals up with perfect abdominal curl. So your breathing will give you the speed at which to be moving. You will maintain your natural curve with this one. Now knees together, feet flexed and apart. Either interlink your fingers behind your head or pop hands over onto opposite shoulders. That's if you would like a challenge, but also if your neck is sore. So squeeze ribs to hips. No pulling from neck or shoulders. Learning to isolate into those abdominals. So lift your shoulder blades off the floor and then just a small release back. Now concentrate on your breathing. So you breathe out to curl up and breathing in a small release back. On your breath out, closing through the rib cage and drawing those abdominals in, as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Flex the feet strongly and squeeze your knees firmly together. One more. Relax it back. Just check that you still have your natural curve and that you've not gone into a tuck. And then another set. Keep the movements small and subtle. Make sure that you are beelining as you raise and still beelining as you lower. So always pulling in with those abdominals, never brace by pushing them out. So support your spine. One more. Relax it back. We'll do it with rotations, fingers interlinked. Elbows are nice and wide. Look right across towards the opposite wall. Look towards your knees to the center, across to the other side. So these are three things as you rotate. Squeeze the knees, squeeze the core, as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. So the legs stay still, just rotating from your rib cage. Think of symmetry. Make sure you're rotating as far to the right as you do to the left. One more to each side. And relaxing out of that. All right, 2-minute hover time. So remember the purpose of the hover is to work those abdominals, and the really important thing with the hover is maintaining that tuck with the pelvis so that you feel the tummy and not your lower back working. As soon as you go into that, the back muscles are taking over. If that does happen, just drop back to the knees or otherwise ease out of it, join in again when you're ready. So it's important you feel it in those correct muscles. Getting ready, make sure that your hips are shoulder height, make sure you're starting on your knees, tuck your toes, lift it and hold it. This one will be a little harder for me today after too much weekend celebrating. Tuck under with the tailbone. Keep those hips at shoulder height. Now concentrate on your breathing. Breathe in for a count of 4. Slow breath out for a count of 6. Breathing all the air out squeezing the core as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Pinching the buttocks will give you more stability. And just check that those hips are staying at shoulder height and not starting to drop down. Nice and strong through your center. Neck in line with the rest of the spine. That is already a minute, doing really well. Keep the shoulders pressed away from your ears. So don't start to hunch and round in the upper back. So also concentrate on that gentle pinch between your shoulder blades. So no rounding into your upper back. Make sure on your breath out, you are squeezing the core as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Just 30 seconds to go. Check that pelvic tilt once more, making sure you are feeling the tummy and not your lower back. Keep those hips at shoulder height. Pinch through the buttocks. Breathe. On the home run. Release it gently and pushing back into rest position. So do remember, if you do have sore knees, you can roll over onto the back and hug the knees to the chest. That's your alternate rest position if those knees are bothering you during this one. So knees are wide and sink your chest down low. Easing out of that. Now, we're going to do a side hover today, but if you would like a challenge, we're going to do a rotating side hover. So if you've got a sore shoulder, don't rotate. It is a lot harder work for your shoulder. So your options are, you can just do your normal side hover. You can stay on the knees if you need to. Make sure that shoulder blades are in pocket, that elbows directly and underneath and not out there. Okay? So if you're wanting to do revolving hover, make sure that your feet are apart. Okay, so you'll be up there, and then you're going to thread it through like that. So your arms are parallel, and then you'll slowly turn and lift you back up there again. Okay, well, let's see how many rotations 30 seconds will take us. Lift it up and hold it there. Slowly rotate, hold it there a moment. Hips are shoulder height. Then slowly bring yourself back up again. And rotating. And take it up. And again, take it down. And lift it up. One more. And that is 35 seconds. Release it down and to the other side. So how many did we manage? Was there about 4? I lost count. Not that any of you would be surprised that I lose count. No, I count very carefully. Right, lift it and hold it. Just get that watch out the way. Thread it through and lift it up. Thread it through, hold it, and lift it up. Try to keep your hips at shoulder height. Those hips lifted. Squeeze your core. One more. And release, sit down. And just give those shoulders a little roll. Well done. Okay. We'll do side to side. You can do the pendulum if you'd like more of a challenge. Just going to bring that in and touch closer. So side to side. Good one for a sore lower back. And for that flexibility with rotation. So take your arms out shoulder level First, you just keep the feet resting on the floor so that you're concentrating on flexibility. Push through with your hips, shoulders flat. Try and get your knees as flat as possible. Turn to look to those fingers of the opposite hand. And back up again. Now, either knees in line with the belly button, feet a little higher than the knees. Keep the knees in line with the belly button, either halfway or as low as you can, where that opposite shoulder is still flat on the floor. Keep those shoulders down flat. Otherwise, your pendulum, arms in a little closer, toes locked together, flex those feet. Keep your feet in line with your hips as you take them directly to the side. So you're not lowering like that. It's just directly to the side. So this is your one for more of a challenge. Flex your feet, keep those big toes locked together. Palms are up. And keep your shoulders nice and flat. So all work on the same principle. Squeeze core and inner thighs to lift. Think of rocking back with the pelvis and then the legs. So your challenge is to engage through those abdominals to lift the legs back up again. Shoulders stay flat. Also turning the head to look towards the opposite hand. Squeeze core and inner thighs to lift. Breathing out to lower. Deep breath in to raise. Still going in time with your breathing. And using the abdominals to rock those legs back up again. So as low to the side as you can, your shoulder, the opposite shoulder, still stays on the floor. One more to each side. And knees into the chest with a down twist. So knees vertically stacked to make it easier. Otherwise, right leg out, straight leg up and over. Relax the knee to the floor within your limits of discomfort. And put that shoulder as flat on the floor as possible. Make sure that your beeline into your back is supported and breathe through the stretch. Don't force it, just try to relax into it. There's a firm stretch on your lower back. Squeeze the core, use the abdominals, carefully and slowly up and out of it. To the other side, knees vertically stacked to make it easier. Try to get that knee close into your armpit and relax that knee towards the floor. Squeeze the core, use the abdominals carefully and slowly up, and just give those knees a rock. And just circle. All right, we're going to do the single leg stretch. It's like a piston action with the legs. A little bit of coordination here. So if it is your right leg, it's going to be your right hand on the ankle. If it is your left leg, it's your left hand on the ankle. So same leg, same arm on the ankle. If you find it too much, put both hands on the knees, but try to work that coordination. Now, if your back is sore, you're going to extend the leg up at a 45-degree angle. Your foot is flexed and turned out. Otherwise, you'll take that leg low to the floor. Lower back is imprinted. Your neck is sore, keep resting onto your cushion. So it's a piston action. You keep pushing out to that same angle. You're not raising and then lowering. Piston action with those legs and the last breath up. So it's bend the elbows, draw that bent knee close in towards your armpit. A strong side out as you straighten that leg. So you should look like a steam engine and sound like one as well with that last breath out. Now keep your arms to your side and use those abdominals to draw that bent knee close in towards your armpit. Push out through the heel of the leg that you are extending and keep squeezing ribs to hips. Your legs getting tight, you can interlink your fingers or rest the head back. One more with each leg. And hug those knees in close. Relax out of that. Now the next one is the crisscross, working those oblique abdominals, and it's that same piston action with the legs. So remember, if your back is sore, you'll extend those legs at a 45-degree angle, but you're tapping elbow to opposite knee. Keep those elbows out nice and wide and flex your feet strongly. So elbow to opposite knee. Get that bent leg in close. Yes, I want that elbow touching the knee. Breathe into bend, breathing out as you extend. So you need to lift those shoulder blades up off the floor to get that elbow touching that opposite knee. Yes, Sandy, I want that elbow touching the knee. Underneath. Breathe out to extend. Breathe in to bend. Draw that leg across the body. Squeeze your core. And I want to hear that last breath out as you push out through your heel. Get that elbow touching the opposite knee. Come on, Faye, don't give up quite so easily. Elbow touching the knee. One more each side. Get the elbow touching that knee and hug the knees to the chest. Squeeze those knees in and give the knees a circle. Reverse your circle. And we'll do the double leg stretch with leg lowering for more of a challenge. Holding hand weights if you'd like a challenge. And now if your neck is sore, you'll keep your head resting down on the pillow. And yes, my mat is scooting all over the place, just for a change. Okay, so sore backs, and if you haven't done the class for a while, feet above the buttocks, so lower back stays imprinted with that pelvic tilt. So remember just to lengthen hips away from ribs, you move those buttock muscles out the way, getting that flatter, more stable spine. So either there, otherwise toes together, heels apart. Let's lower it to where your lower back is still imprinted. This is not the position. You get them up vertically, or legs are straight where you are. Backs of the hands together, 2 large circles, that's your basic. And then knees to the chest. Make sure you keep your chin tucked in. Don't drop the head back there. And leg lowering. So 1 circle, then lower and raise. Finish your circle, knees to the chest. Hold onto your hand weights. So doing it with me, 2 of the 2 circles. Then just if you'd like to for that challenge for now. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs either there or there. Backs of the hands together. Now concentrate on squeezing the inner thighs, pinching the buttocks and beeline, and knees to your chest. Also try and engage through the pelvic floor while you circle. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs. Beeline, keep those abdominals pulled in and flattened. Eyes are towards the knees and your head stays still. And knees to the chest. Now your leg lowering, otherwise stick with your 2 circles. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the leg. So you should feel it in the abdominals, not your lower back. If you're feeling it in the back, then keep those legs up more vertically and don't do the leg lowering. Nice 2 circles, knees into the chest. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs. If your head is lifted, tuck the chin and look at the knees. Arms and legs up vertically. Lower the legs to where your back is still imprinted. Squeeze core and inner thighs to lift. Beeline to finish. And knees to the chest. Lifting head and shoulders. Now put those legs up vertically. And nice big circle. Arms and legs up vertically. Just lower them to where your lower back is still imprinted. Raising them. Finish the circle. And knees to the chest. Lifting head and shoulders. Extending the legs. It's low to where your back is imprinted. Backs of the hands together. Keep the head still to circle. Arms and legs vertically. Breathing out to lower and a deep breath in to raise. Beeline to finish and knees to the chest. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs. Tuck the chin in, looking towards the knees. Arms and legs up vertically. Breathing out to lower, deep breath in to raise. Beeline to finish and knees to your chest. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs. Nice big circle. Arms and legs up vertically. Breathing out to lower. Breathe in to raise. Finish your circle. Knees to the chest. You have one more. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs. Big circle. Arms and legs vertically. Breathing out to lower. Breathe in to raise. Finish your circle. And hug those knees close. Just squeeze the knees into the chest. Give those knees a circle. Reverse your circle and sit up. We'll do a spiral stretch, so stretching out through the side. So one leg directly out in front of you, other foot at the level of the knee. So you'll be in this rotated position, but when you come up out of the stretch, go back and so remember to face the straight leg when you uncurl. So deep breath in, rotate to the bent leg, breathing out, take yourself across to the straight leg. You can reach the foot, hold the inside of the foot, otherwise hold the leg where you comfortably can. Slide your hand down between your shoulder blades, tuck your elbow close, twisting the chest to the ceiling, bending the elbow armpit closer to that straight leg. You can go into the pretzel, hand that's on the foot, walks forwards at a 45-degree angle, the other hand reaches over to touch the foot. Looking underneath the armpit towards the ceiling. So feel that stretch through your side. It may come slightly through into your lower back as well. One more deep breath. Stretch both hands out towards the straight leg, facing straight or bent leg. Squeeze the core to uncurl and release it down. Changing legs. Legs straight out in front of you, foot at the level of the knee. Deep breath in, rotate to the bent leg. Breathing out, take yourself across to the straight leg, holding the inside of the foot, sliding the other hand between the shoulder blades. Leaning onto the buttock of the straight leg to twist your chest up. Otherwise, go into the pretzel if you did so on the other side. Nice deep breaths. Keep twisting your chest up towards the ceiling. Get the breaths to the base of the lungs. One more deep breath. Stretch both hands out towards the straight leg, facing straight or bent leg. Squeeze the core to uncurl and release it down. And then twist for the upper back. Just cross-legged, hand on the knee, and twist your shoulders square onto the sideboard. So nice deep breaths, just relaxing into that twist on your breath out. And keep your shoulders relaxed, don't start to hunch. And to the other side, use the hand on the knee to help pull yourself around. Grow taller, straighten your spine. And easing out of that. And some back straightening. Time for a swim. So you can pop your roll up top onto underneath your stomach. So what you're wanting to do is maintain that pelvic tilt. So putting the towel in underneath your stomach so that you don't sag into the back when you are over onto your stomach. So that will help support the lower back if your back is sore. So slow swimming first. Palms are facing inward, so thumbs are facing out. Just check that your feet are shoulder distance apart. Now squeeze your core, pull the tummy away from the floor. So alternating one arm, one leg on opposite sides, and keep your pelvis still, don't let it rock from side to side. So either with one arm, one leg on the floor, Otherwise, arms and legs are lifted. Nice slow swimming. So you're breathing out to lift and breathing in to lower. Try and get that equal lift of the arm and the leg. Squeeze your core. Squeeze the buttocks. Straighten your knees. Keep the elbows as straight as possible. Have a short rest. Remember, you're only going to get the benefit of this exercise if you do it and not watch it. Breathing out to lift and breathing in to lower. Keep your pelvis nice and still. And squeeze your core. Have your concentration on those abdominals. Release it gently. Now you've got the option of fast swimming with just the legs or fast swimming arms and legs. If it's just the legs, forward resting on the hands, you can still keep it slow and touch the floor if you need to. And small movement to make it easier, and try a little larger range of movement for more of a challenge. So nice fast swimming, squeeze the core, pinch the buttocks, try that percussion breathing. So breathe in for 5 and those sharp breaths out. Breathing the breath out in 5 stages. Have a short rest. And another set when you are ready. Try that percussion breathing. I'm not sure if you can hear my breathing above all that building noise outside. I shall be really pleased when that building is finished. Release it gently. Have you got one more fast swim in you? I'm sure you have. And get that percussion breathing flowing. Release it gently. Pilates breaststroke. Into here the area to move the arms. So feet are flexed and turned out. And you're going to get your heels touching. Make sure your knees aren't resting on the floor. That's not going to do anything. You need to keep those knees lifted so your thighs are up off the floor. So first of all, just have your forehead resting on the hands. Keep the shoulders pressed away from your ears. And a blast breath out as you get those heels touching. So working the buttocks, the inner thighs, core, and pelvic floor. Release it gently. Now, if you would like more of a challenge, with straight arms, sweep the arms back and forwards. Nice strong movement as if you're squeezing an orange in underneath the armpit. So still that same movement with the legs, and a blast breath out as you get those heels touching. And don't forget to squeeze your core. Buttocks are tight. Squeeze the core. Have a short rest. And another set when you are ready. You can just move the legs. So just doing the one that's appropriate for you. So your lower back is working strongly. So make sure that you are squeezing the core. Draw those abdominals in, away from the floor. And release it down. Back extensions. Actually, no, we'll do the cat stretch for a change. So just come back into rest position. So you should feel those back muscles have shortened and tightened. Just relax the rest position. So just counterbalance by lengthening them out. And so cat stretch, bring the flexibility into the spine. Make sure that the fingers are spread wide, knees are in underneath the hips, wrist in underneath the shoulders, soft elbows. tuck your chin in, push forwards with your hips, push away with your hands. Shoulders are still above your elbows, knees are still above the knees, and sink into your lower back, shoulders away from your ears. Make sure you're not doing this, shoulders away from the ears. Draw those abdominals in, arch up as much as possible, and a deep breath in to sink into your lower back. So a strong breath out, engaging tummy and pelvic floor, arching up, push forwards with the hips, push away with the hands, and then sink down into your lower back with those elbows soft. So a strong breath out, arch your back up as much as possible, looking towards the belly button, and then sink into your lower back. So breathing out as you arch up, and a deep breath in to sink into the lower back. So a strong breath out, pushing away with the hands, and sink into the lower back. One more in each direction, arching up as much as possible, and sink into the lower back. Just give your wrists a little shake, and we'll roll over onto our backs to do shoulder bridge. So you can do your normal shoulder bridge, where your ankle is in underneath your foot, your palms are facing up. So just the basic is pelvic tilt, concentrating on tummy and pelvic floor. Once you lift up, then you squeeze the buttocks. So be really careful you don't squeeze the buttocks to do your tuck. Get as much movement through the vertebra as possible. Get that nice straight line, maintaining the tuck with the pelvis. Squeeze the buttocks tight. Tuck your chin in and push your shoulder blades to the floor, and then tuck with the pelvis, roll your spine down. Last thing you'll do is release the pelvic tilt just to the neutral, don't push forwards into a large arch. However, if you would like a little bit of a challenge, lift that other leg up into a tabletop. Now it's going to work the hamstrings more strongly because you're going to lift up like that, and we're going to do 8 on each side. Okay. So still tucking with the pelvis, feeling the spinal, squeeze the buttocks tight, push your hips up, and now roll your spine down. So peeling the spine up off the floor, squeeze the buttocks tight, push your hips up, and roll your spine down. So tucking, squeeze the buttocks, push your hips up to the ceiling, and roll your spine down. So pelvic tilt, imprint. Squeeze the buttocks. If your back is sore, just pop that leg down and go back to your basic. So this is just for more of a challenge. You will notice that you're starting to feel the buttocks and hamstrings working a fair bit more strongly than if you are doing both legs together. Squeeze the buttocks, push your hips up, squeeze your core. One more. And you have your other leg. Make sure the ankle is in underneath the knee and get that leg into tabletop. So calf is parallel. So tucking and squeeze the buttocks. Push your hips up high and roll your spine down. So pelvic tilt, squeeze the buttocks, push your shoulder blades into the floor, push those hips up higher and roll yourself down. Squeeze the buttocks, pushing those hips up and rolling your spine down. Tucking, peeling, pushing your hips up and rolling your spine down. Tuck, squeeze the buttocks, push your hips to the ceiling, that extra centimetre higher, and roll your spine down. Squeeze the buttocks, push those hips up, rolling down, run the home run, peeling off, push your hips up, rolling down. One more. Tuck, heel, push those hips up, roll it down, and hope you're easy. So your lower back is working with this one as well. So we just rock those knees to the chest to relieve the lower back. And it does work those hamstrings strongly. So we're just going to give them a little bit of a little bit of love. Stretch them out. And changing sides. And easing out of that. Right. Now, leg weights on if you'd like more of a challenge. So pop them on both legs. So you want you to know what exercise we do before you put your leg weights on. Okay? Large circles. As large as you can, where you can keep your upper body nice and still. So just isolate into that leg. So make sure your palm is up, or upper body in a straight line, but then bring the legs slightly forwards, hips vertically stacked, tuck with your pelvis, lock both knees straight, and turn your toes strongly up towards the ceiling. So you're going to bring that leg forwards, up, behind, and around, and brush past your heel. Now be careful, watch out for this sort of swaying. So you need to tuck and just work within the limits. Make sure the bottom leg's slightly forwards. So breathe in to raise, breathing out to circle. Lock that knee, both knees should be locked straight, but especially that leg that you are working. As that leg goes behind, squeeze the buttocks. Breathe in to raise, breathe out to circle. Keep long through that rib to hip area, so don't punch in through there. Keep lengthened through there as you circle around. So working buttocks and outer thigh. Breathe in to lift, breathe out as you circle. As that leg goes behind, squeeze through buttocks. Breathe in to lift, breathing out to circle, reverse. Keep those hips vertically stacked. Take it behind, up, forwards, and round. Make sure that leg does go behind the other one. And make sure that you're keeping your pelvis nice and still and keep it lengthened through that rib tip area. Looking directly forwards, think about the position of the neck. Pinch through the buttocks, squeeze your core. Breathe in to lift, breathe out to circle. One more. Release it down. Now we're going to just do one more on this side. The bottom toes are going to be pressed into the floor, and that top leg is going to stay parallel to the floor. And you're still tackling with the pelvis, that bottom leg is still slightly forwards. So you're going to point on the way forwards and flex on the way back. That leg's going slightly behind, you're going to squeeze the buttocks. Don't flop into it. Be really careful to keep those hips vertically stacked. Point on the way forwards, flex on the way back. Point and flex, squeeze the buttocks. Point and flex as you take it behind. Point, flex, squeeze the buttocks. Point, flex. Knee is locked nice and straight. Breathe in to come forwards, breathe out to take it back. Point on the way forwards, flex on the way back, one more. Release it down and over onto the other side. So as you take that leg behind, concentrate on that squeezing of the buttocks. So your circles first, and then your leg swings. While upper body in a straight line, legs are slightly forwards, and both knees are locked straight. Remember to have your toes up to the ceiling, check the hips are vertically stacked. Keep those abdominals on edge, breathe in to lift, breathe out to circle. Keep that movement flowing, so one repetition flows into the next, and keep the buttocks pinched. Squeeze your core to stabilize, and make sure that that knee of that working leg is locked completely straight. So you're not having a little bend and a sloppy movement as we come around. Keep pushing out through that heel. One more, and you will reverse. Take that leg behind, up, forwards and round, and make sure that you're keeping long through that rib to hip area. Shoulder blades are in pocket. Breathe in to lift, breathe out to circle. Squeeze through the buttocks. Nice deep breaths. Keep that working leg locked straight. One more. Now those toes are pressed into the floor for stability, but you're also going to squeeze the core. The foot is hip height off the floor, and you're swaying into the low back, so squeeze your core. Point on the way forwards, legs on the way back. Breathing in and breathing out. Keep that leg hip height off the floor, and that working leg stays locked nice and straight. And relax out of that. And take the leg weights off. And we'll do a buttock stretch. So you can do your one line on your back, otherwise join me for the seated one. So if you're seated, my left foot is closest to me. I'm pressing that left knee down, leaning forwards, and trying to get that left knee especially, but still trying to get both down as you lean forward, stretching into the left buttock. Keep pressing those bench knees down towards the floor. Keep equal pressure through onto the buttocks. Squeeze your core to come up, changing legs. Now my right foot is closer to me. I'm going to push that right knee down, stretching through the right buttock and lean into it. Easing out of there, standing up, holding onto your band. So if you don't have a band, you can still do a lot of the same movements, just holding your weights. And I've chopped my head off. So let's get my head back. So first of all, standing sideways, we're going to concentrate on shoulder blade squeezes. So stepping onto your band, holding more the edges of your band. So play around with how much resistance you need. Lock your wrists so they stay straight. Don't get those wrists too funny things. You'll end up with a sore wrist at the end of it. Check that your hips are above your ankles. You're not starting to sway into a bow. Pinch your shoulder blades as you take those arms back and behind. Be careful not to jut out through the chin. Chin is tucked in. So you're going to pinch those shoulder blades as you take those arms back and behind. Keep your wrists locked nice and straight. So tummy in, tailbone down, and keep your gaze level, looking straight ahead. Pinch your shoulder blades. So stretch that band and pinch between your shoulder blades. Make sure you do have a small release so that you have got somewhere to go back to pinch to. Pinch into that upper back. Now we're going to take it back behind and just do small, smooth pulses. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it back there. Concentrate on your triceps. And nice smooth pulses. And another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it and release. Now hold on the edges of the band. And we're going to take it out sideways. Once again, be mindful of your wrists. Keep your wrists locked straight. Don't start to do that. So just go up as high as is comfortable for you. Breathe out to stretch. Breathe in to release. Take as long to raise as you do to lower. Keep tension in that band as you come back down. Tummy in and tailbone down. Your hips should be above your ankles. Breathe out to stretch. Breathe in to release. Keep your shoulder blades gently pinched. Keep nice and open through your chest. Now take it up and you're going to pulse it. Hold it and release. Now you're going to stretch forwards. So same thing, keep your wrist locked nice and straight. Okay, so going up just as high as you comfortably can and keep your shoulder blades gently pinched. So stretch, keep tension in the band as you come back down. Make sure you're not going into a sway in your lower back. Breathe out to stretch, breathe in to release. And guess what? You've got some pulses. So stop it there. Hold it. And relax. Well done. So stepping off your band and rotate your cuff. Tuck your elbows in and rotate the forearms out to the pulley. So go around with how much resistance you need. Breathing out to stretch, breathe in to release. Keep your elbows glued into the torso. Once again, check that your hips are above your ankles. You're not starting to go into a sway in that lower back. So tummy in and tailbone down. As you stretch your band, also engage through the pelvic floor. Guess what? Pulsing. Stretch and smooth pulses. Control it in both directions. Take it back, hold it. You got 10 more on you? Yes. Hold it. And relax. Relax through your shoulders. The forearms can sometimes feel a little tight because of the gripping of the band, so we'll stretch those forearms out as well. So hand, hold on your hand, not pulling on the fingers, and rotate that crease of the elbow up towards the ceiling. Don't let the hand twist. So stretching through that forearm to the other side, rotate that crease of the elbow up, shoulder down, hand facing directly down. With those hands a little shake, we will just stretch through the other part of the back of the forearm as well. And so now it's on your fingers, include the thumb and pull back. So golfer's elbow with this one, tennis elbow with the other. And pull back. Give those wrists a shake. And standing spine roll. Have you loosened up a little? Breathe in, grow taller. Breathing out, get as much movement through the vertebrae as you can. Notice how far down you're reaching. Land, use those abdominals and uncurl to the upright. Just check your position. Tummy in, tailbone down. So always get that pelvis in the right position. Shoulder blades are in pocket. Stretching the neck. Just take the chin towards the armpit and a gentle pull on the back of the head, pressing down through the heel of that opposite hand. Breathe through your stretch. To the other side, chin to armpit, hand on the back of the head, just a gentle pull. And release, interlink the fingers, let your elbows sag down. It's more the weight of the arms than pulling. Nice deep breaths, relax those neck muscles. And easing out of that, drop the head right back, chin right up to the ceiling. And ear to shoulder, keep your shoulders level, gentle pull. And to the other side, gentle pull. Clasping the hands, lifting the arms up as high up behind you as you can. And Circle it out. Walk tall and have a great week. Well done.